Big flex, beautiful lighting, wonderful air. I appreciate y'all being available for this. Peace to my kindred out there. Flex and repeat, and you say worldwide. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy. It's your guy. Love, love, love. So, always got things on my mind. It's a subject that I've been writing about a lot, but I haven't really tapped into it too much. I kind of grazed the idea, and I don't really tap into it too much. But the subject today is going to be fear, and how fear is somewhat of a muscle like love can be. I'm always speaking about love, and today I wanted to speak about the opposite end of it, because fear seems to be more present in our culture, in our society, than love is, than the purity of love, truth and acceptance. Fear has tore nations apart, this nation, from just racism and indifference on change. Now, fear, in my perspective, I believe it stems from a drive of knowing thyself to some degree and feeling empowered in that, any individual, right? And then creating some sort of safety around that. I'm just shooting, an idea right now, but then creating some kind of safety around that, so it's your kingdom, so to speak, and anything that spans beyond your kingdom in the darkness that you haven't seeked the information of understanding for, you label, judge, and eliminate any kind of growth of understanding. And if best put, it's like judging a book by its cover. That's a very fear-based idea. And I wanted to just tap into what that can do to you in habit. You should never be in fear. If you feel that there's something that you don't know, then you need to resource, you need to research, and you need to become more in love with and understanding with what's going on. Because love is really truth, information, understanding. Once you get that, you start beaming that from the inside, it's going to set this wave around you. Already, if you don't know, you have, peace, my brother, peace, peace. If you don't know, you have 360 degrees and 3 feet away of aura, just bumping. It's going 3 feet into the ground. It's going 3 feet to the right and left, above you, behind you, in front of you, all around you, multi-directional. Okay? And we could get on distancing and social distancing and stuff, but oh yeah, thank you. Yes, the universal power that is within you, your fragrance, the truth, right? When it comes to society, I've noticed why I see like children picking on each other is because they're in fear. A lot of this ugliness that we see in the world is fear-based. Racism is fear-based. White supremacy is fear-based. It's not empowering for a people. It doesn't even serve its so to speak people, all right? And it has evolved and changed to be a multicultural ideal with one spearhead. But that's another day, and it's a fear-based place. Hey, puppy just rolled up over here. I'm out in nature, as y'all can see. It was kind of spooky just seeing a dog just pull up, and I'm like, yo, but I'm good with animals. But yes, it's really like the boogeyman. What is the boogeyman? In my opinion, the boogeyman is a collection of your ideas and thoughts to which you create manifestation towards, and shadows. So it's like the unknown, the shadows, and your ideas creating this monster. Now that monster can be created for you too, for you to be afraid of. So many people are afraid today, yesterday, tomorrow, of walking in front of a police without their mask on. The police cannot, by law, in this country, it's the only country I'm speaking about, This one, by law, they can't tell you to put your mask up in only a few conditions. If you're in someone's establishment and they own that establishment, and they say, hey, look, by the standards of the company, because the companies are being forced and paid off. Some are paid off depending upon the girth of their business, because you can't do that to the big boys, but you could do it to small businesses. Say, hey, look, we'll fine you. No small business wants to pay more money just to have somebody not wear a mask. So they're bullying people, but it's fear-based. But the police can't tell you to put a mask on, right? But people are so fear-based. Some people will pull their mask up in front of the police. I've had people say, the cops don't speak to you on the train when you don't have your mask on? I'm like, yeah, I pay taxes. The cops work for us. First of all, as long as you got your stature right, cops work for us. And that's a shaky wakey. You already know the vibes, but we're being politically correct to some degree right now. But no, they're stranger danger. You don't talk to me. What are you talking to me for? You're not a doctor. And I don't have to tell you by HIPAA law if I've ever taken a vaccination or the reason why I'm not wearing a mask at this moment. Because it bees like that. Because we have something called a respiratory system. You see, we're failing, and this is where it becomes unfortunate. We're failing to take care of our nature for something that the masses are suggesting. And it's off of fear-based and not information. Because if it was one narrative, and remember, we're in a realm, on a planet, with things that look like us but are not the same. That's why there is a melanated man, that's why there is a red man, that's why there is a yellow man. It's all good. But the thing is, we all don't have the same diet, protocol, or regimen for our society and for our health. And we have to figure out, well then, what works for this community, what works for that community, because that's a real thing. We might all agree on a social level, but we biologically have to tend to our garden, specifically how the garden is rooted from. So if you're from African roots, then it's more beneficial for you to consume things that would work towards your diet, work towards your enlightenment, because it's about evolution. It's about you growing. It's on a cellular level. And you do that because that thing is radiation. The sun is radiation. And it's putting radiation into food, and you're consuming that radiation, and that radiation is evolving you to some degree. But it's a beautiful process. It's not like toxic one eye and a neck type shit. But it's the way nature has been for a very long time. But due to fear-based, because it has to be fear-based if we all do something and we haven't questioned it or brought it to a forum to say, hey, look, my community and how we feel about this is like this, like Africa has done. We need facts. We need information. I want to know what's in that what is that? It's like mRNA craziness. I need to know what's in that. You know what I mean? Before we consume it. But the reality is we are being bribed. We're being bullied. And these things can end from you just standing and saying, give me a second. It's not a no. It's not a yes. Give me a second. Let me become one with self. And fear is out the window. Now, I use that subject because it's the current event, right? But this has been done over time, and it'll be done furthermore if we don't put an end to the disabled of mind that continuously feel like we need to live in this fear-based society in order to govern and move the culture. Think about that deeply. Most people have been oppressed, fear-based. The Emancipation Proclamation, slaves are free. What propaganda did they put out in the streets? Chicken coop stealers. They stealing your chicken. They stealing your apple pies. They're raping your women. Propaganda, fear-based. Like, come on. Come on. So it tells me a lot. It's like when you become enlightened, just in your environment, just so you can navigate through your environment, that's all it really is. It's like, yo, it's right here. So we rocking this. I got to know 360 degrees about it in order for me to move forward, in order for me to progress and be elite in this space, because that is my birthright. What did you say? But I know how to play the game. Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole no for me too. It's a whole no for me too. I was speaking to my mother today, Okay, so let's have that chat. Ah. Inside of her spirit, my mother is a goddess. She's a number 11 on the chart. She came back here on purpose just to get this 9 up out of here so we can bounce. Big facts. She has been a nurse for about 35 years. She goes to the, wakes up in the morning, feels a vibration that says, don't get that vaccine. I'm just giving you the fast forward. She goes to her place where she works. Well, she's retired at this point, but she's still doing extra work. I don't know what's up with that. But she goes there. What happens? Everybody's coming in with they got the COVID doctors, nurses coming in. They got the main registered nurse. She's ready to administer, right? Okay. So now they're about to give out COVID shots. They give a COVID shot out to one of her friends, Jamaican lady. She's sitting down. They said, okay, miss, you should be good now. It's like 10, 15 minutes after they gave it a shot. You should be good now. Come on, get up. Oh, don't touch me. Something's wrong inside of me. I can't feel. Blah, 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 blah. She starts going off. Something don't feel right. It starts going off. It's crazy. This is the Johnson & Johnson one, by the way, gods and goddesses. Starts going off. My mom says, hold up. Like, my mom is South American. Weird, but she's allergic to cassava. Yuca. I love yuca. I'll be fucking that shit up. Yuca fries. Ooh, starchy. Anyway. But she can't put certain things in her body. That's why I said that. You know, she does certain things that are in, are transfers in vaccines and such that she can't put in her body. And antibiotics you shouldn't even be putting into your body anyway, because it's killing your ancestral bacteria. But that's a whole nother part. So, it's crazy. Because she's standing there and she's looking at the lady and like, oh, it's time for you to take your vaccine. She's like, I'm good. I'm going to go to my doctor. And she called me. I'm an herbalist. I'm practicing herbalist. I'm always going to learn more. I know the vibes. I've been given, I don't even care how it sounds at this point because everybody's talking crazy. I've been given information since my time of existence in this lifetime, in this body, since the beginning. I ain't going to do that little YouTube weirdo shit where they're, excuse my French, where they're talking about, I've seen the future in 3 lifetimes and all of this, but it's real facts. Like, you just gotta walk with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta understand, like, you're the master of your own time and space. Like, yo, really, any type of hardship that you're going through, you really have to smile in this situation. You have to fucking, as long as you're not in danger, in physical danger, where you gotta out the situation, you gotta smile at the situation, persevere, and see the wisdom in that shit, because it's all towards, like, your right in this beautiful thing beyond the air that we breathe is love. We love you. We're here for you. We ain't gonna leave you or forsake you. And anything on this earth that tells you differently is bugging, and they're trying to control your heart. Because if they control your heart, they control your mind. It'll make decisions in a certain way. Your heart is a part of your soul. It's a part of your spirit. And it's once they break your heart and you become fear-based, once they tell you, oh, you can do this, you'll be this when you grow up, you'll be that, you can only be this. Oh, well, look at these black boys, they can only be that. Once that dynamic starts to sit inside of you and becomes indoctrinated inside of you, you don't even need to repeat it on your own, especially with the reminders or everywhere. When we look at statues all over the world right now, except for Kemet, except for Egypt, what kind of faces do we see? Take a second. Think of Columbus Circle. I'll wait. So if we see nothing but these type of individuals, and I ain't saying it's bad, if Washington Monument looked like that and there's not an African nose on Washington Monument, maybe Abraham Lincoln, nah, not an African nose on Washington Monument, then how do we pass by it and feel excellence? There's certain beings that do feel that excellence. Peace, sister. There's certain beings that do feel that excellence from seeing that. They pass by and say, yeah, man, George Washington. And this ain't no shade against cultures. Do as you feel is your right, but understand the medium of reality. Understand that you are not here alone. You ain't conquering people's territory to that dynamic without having, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Somebody gotta fucking sign a check at the end of the night. And we're at that point because if we look around from the fear-based culture that was created from these dark age mofos, people that messed their shit up in the Black Plague and just kept going. People that have, I think it's like something like 14 tons of gold in a chariot that's worth like something $1 billion. I don't even care to think about the numbers. But those people are the ones that is ending. All of that shit. It's like you never heard all that money, you can't take it with you. All of this is it plundering? Plundering. All of this plundering that has been done for at least 1,000 years. At least 1,000 years. And 1,000 years ain't nothing, yo, because you only live for about 100 years nowadays because of these savages. Because vitality is all around us, and we see these things. How does a tree live for hundreds of years and you don't? It produces the thing that you breathe. What? We've had so many points of evolution, and that's a whole nother dynamic. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna remain on the subject of fear and what fear does to you. So let's just talk about fear and the immune system. Fear destroys your immune system. Sadness destroys your immune system. Depression destroys your immune system. To some degree, there's a portion of it that you are not in control of. But when you're amongst your kindred, amongst your ancestors and the ones that are to guide you, your guiders, they'll give you wisdom on when you're in those moments. This is what you do to guide out of those moments. When you're feeling frustrated, young black man, this is what you do to get out of that moment. Take a deep breath, step back from the situation. You are the master of your own time and space, so you're not in a rush to retort. You're not in a rush to respond. And just those supreme, holy moments is what makes you divine, what makes you great amongst the situation. Because they want you to respond in a certain way. They've depicted you as a savage. So many things have been created to refine their stature. From the suits, to the organizations, to the ideals of business and gentlemen. Where did that phrase gentleman come from? A man that was not gentle. That's where it came from. A man that decided to put people on boats, and it didn't work out many times. You think that they try to speak about conquest. The fear-based man speaks about conquest. But you're not putting a group of healthy, most likely vegan motherfuckers on a boat, and their God is speaking to them. Most High speaks to them all the time. Not saying that the Most High ain't speaking to y'all. I mean, but you gotta have a certain diet, and you wouldn't be putting motherfuckers on boats, trying to ship them over to other places to make them do labor. Even your own people, son. Indentured servitude is crazy. Right now, because of last year, see, what they wanted to do with the reset and all the madness with the fear base is break you down, break your spirit. There's a lot of love going on 2019. There was a lot of progression. All this did was put it in a hibernation mode. So right now, what we about to do is make it pop. Pressure creates diamonds. And it ain't just like pressure, because you're cracking. It's pressure and release. It's pressure and release. It's pressure and release. It's the way the earth works. It breathes on a little bit. It pulls back. This is your life. You ain't supposed to be pushing at that shit so hard. You so dynamic that when it's time to strike it, you got it. Pow. It's done. Be the dope you want to smoke. Be the master of your own time and space. Have that internal, eternal, infinite conversation within in order to be outwardly, not outworldly. What was created is at its end, and it's time for us to now indoctrinate a new being, a new way, being together in the microcosm and in the macrocosm. Ain't nobody gonna put this shit on like YouTube and people are just gonna run with it. I don't expect people to run with this when they see it on YouTube. I'm gonna get you people to pull in and tap in, but I don't expect it to be like, oh shit, Saint said this, so let's run out and do it right now. Everything takes time to do, to learn and master. Walking, talking, connection, relationship. The best relationships go through trials and tribulations, but they know the boundaries within the relationship. Well, I'm not gonna put my hands, I'm not gonna break this being. But I can disagree with this being. I can be opposite of the being. But the reality is that we will be moving with gentle, kind, powerful energy that lifts us up, that shakes our ancestors into attention. Yeah, we thought they had them. No. The rest is over. The sleep is over. It's funny how these fear-based men, all these campaigns that we're fighting for, that we know are real and that we laugh at, it's like, wait, what? Black Lives Matter? Obviously, what you talking about? Obviously. All of this stuff, they try to campaign it before we start feeling it. Because once we feel it, it's over. We're turned the fuck up. Peace, God. Peace, God. Peace, sis. How you feeling? Peace to everybody in the room. Kindreds, I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're just talking about fear. We're talking about what fear can do to you if you allow it to be a part of your diet. That's the most important part to understand, is that fear is a choice. You're choosing not to understand what is going on. And in fact, you're subscribing to it. You shouldn't subscribe to things that you don't understand, ever. And when you understand it, now you make the choice to be like, yo, we with it, we not with it. That's it. There's no fear in that. It's just flow. That's it. You only get that. Like think about how flow works when you're amongst your kindred that really love you, that really love themselves. We looking out for each other. Yo, hey bro, fix this. Yo, you good? Yo, you feeling all right? You got some water? Bup. Everything's true. You don't have. There's a lot of things that you don't have to discuss and worry about because you've got this synergy. That's love. That's truth. How could there be fear there? Any unknown can be resolved, can be elevated and sorted out. So it's like, when you see all this confusion out here, do you subscribe to it? When you start to understand that, yo, so we're all doing one thing, wearing a mask, so to speak, not to be too hard on the mask subject, but I love y'all, so I want to talk about it because I believe that it's really, really killing our spirit. I know that we need oxygen for our brain and our blood. I know it's an important thing. And people can't communicate with you on the highest level if they're not breathing right. Think about when you get upset, yo. When you're upset, what position is your breath in? Tight, paced, maybe not even available. What kind of ideas come from that manifestation of breath? Short, aggressive. Then what comes with the opposite? You can still disgust, like, look, I'm not with this. Instead of, get the fuck away from me, I'm disgusted. This is the same thing people are doing with their lives, pushing buttons like, oh, I just need to get a mask, or I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's like, yo, just breathe. Don't be fear-based, because if you knew that it's you, all you take you easy. You're scheduled. You're not, quote-unquote, lazy, which is just like, oh, I'm going to wait till last minute. But you're scheduled. You're positive, exactly. You're right in balance. Right in balance. You feel that. You feel it so much so that you know when it's off. And when you know when it's off, you start to attack it to the dynamic of like, yo, it's time for me to purge this out my system. Maybe I need to step away from that. Anybody in a dope discipline understands that. You do something for so long, there becomes a stagnicity and a frustration. And you then have to step away from the thing. This happens to me when I'm writing music. You know, I'll be writing for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then it'll be a point where I come to a stop. I know then, take a break, get some tea popping, chill for a second, get back to it. It's all available to you. You are the master of your own time and space. No such thing as a writer's block. No such thing as you being stagnant. You could do it all, but you don't need to. And you don't need to do it all at once. All you need to do is be true, be love. Make sure you're eating right. Make sure you're drinking that water. Stay away from the fucking high fructose corn syrup. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. I used to be 237 brolic diesel, eating mad meat and drinking soda. Chill. My attitude was crazy. I was still cool and smooth and all that shit, but there was a inclination to snap because of the acid that I'm putting in my body, because of the energy that I'm putting in my body, because of the people that I'm around consistently. Because you got to be around bros that like I was Ninja Turtled out. But remember that it's all on you. The boogeyman ain't the boogeyman once you open up your closet. Check around. Unless you want the boogeyman there. If you need the boogeyman in your life, I guess, then you're just gonna follow and run with all the fear-based ideas. And that's crazy. Because that's not healthy for me. That's like being around a shook motherfucker with a gun. You don't know if he's scared of everything. I'm gonna shoot everything. Pow, pow, pow. Yo, chill. Figure out what your fears are. Assess your fears. Figure out what that reality is behind your fears. What are you afraid of? Confront that fear. Inform yourself. Move on. The master of your own time and space. You're the embodiment of infinite possibilities. I'm the master of my own time and space. I'm the embodiment of infinite possibilities. Be the dope you want to smoke at all times. Steam on life. Find that soul cipher you need in your life. Don't let them tell you nothing different. You are amazing. I love y'all. I feel you. I see you. Chiname. Shit. Can you say?